When the dust settled after World War II, the map of Eastern Europe had been dramatically redrawn. Yet despite having the military might and opportunity to completely absorb Poland, the Soviet Union stopped short of outright annexation. This restraint seems puzzling given Stalin's territorial ambitions and the historical precedent of Russian control over Polish lands. What prevented the USSR from simply erasing Poland from the map? Stalin's decision not to annex Poland outright represents one of the Cold War's most consequential compromises. Though the Soviets had already secretly carved up Poland with Nazi Germany in the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact of 1939, the political landscape shifted dramatically after Germany's defeat. The Western Allies, particularly the United States and Britain, had committed to the restoration of an independent Polish state, making it a cornerstone of their wartime promises. At Yalta and Potsdam, complete annexation would have shattered the fragile Allied unity at a time when Stalin still needed Western cooperation. More pragmatically, the USSR had already achieved its primary strategic objectives without formal annexation. By installing a compliant communist government in Warsaw, redrawing Poland's borders and maintaining Soviet military presence, Moscow exercised effective control without the administrative burden of direct rule. This satellite state approach provided a buffer zone against Western threats while allowing the appearance of Polish sovereignty, a fiction that served Soviet propaganda efforts. The specter of Polish resistance also factored into Soviet calculations. Poland's national identity had survived 123 years of partition before regaining independence in 1918. Stalin recognized that formally absorbing a nation with such a strong independence tradition would likely trigger sustained insurgency, requiring costly military resources to suppress. The 1944 Warsaw Uprising had already demonstrated the Poles' willingness to fight against overwhelming odds. Perhaps most importantly, the USSR had already annexed significant Polish territory. The eastern Polish regions, now parts of Ukraine, Belarus, and Lithuania, had been incorporated into Soviet republics in 1939-1940. Having secured these strategically valuable eastern lands, complete annexation of ethnic Polish territories would have offered diminishing returns while generating maximum international condemnation. Stalin's decision ultimately reflected the emerging Cold War reality. Direct territorial expansion had become less important than ideological influence and the creation of a defensive glacis of compliant states. By maintaining Poland as a nominally independent satellite, the Soviet Union achieved its security objectives while preserving plausible deniability about its imperial ambitions. Stalin's decision not to annex Poland reveals the calculating pragmatism behind Soviet Cold War strategy. By establishing a puppet state rather than absorbing Poland outright, the USSR maintained the fiction of Polish independence while securing all practical benefits of control.